Good morning, everybody. Today is Christmas Eve, and I thought we would make a video of food prep for a large family on Christmas Eve. So we have a bunch of chores to do this morning. We had church at our house last night, so we're gonna clean up our kitchen and get furniture back where it's supposed to be and start cooking. We've got some pies to make today and some cinnamon rolls. We're making sausage balls. What else? Let me look at my list. We're gonna make some yogurt. We have to go get milk. And we've got our food out for our meals for today, for what we're gonna eat. So I thought it would be fun to do a kind of like a day in the life of video on a holiday food prep day. So follow along. First thing we're gonna do is get our kitchen cleaned up. It's a little bit messy from last night. So I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so we got the kitchen cleaned up and we're starting breakfast. It's a late day. We got up super late. We stayed up super late, so it's 10 o'clock, so we're just now starting breakfast. But this morning I am making sausage gravy and biscuits. Biscuits and sausage gravy. I have a bunch of leftover biscuits that were frozen. See that? Big plop of biscuits that were frozen, and I'm just kind of like breaking them off and putting them in to a pan. And I'm gonna heat them up in the oven, and I'm going to heat them up in the oven, and then I've already cooked some sausage, you can see, and I'm starting some gravy, and on the back of the stove I'm starting some yogurt because today is the day that I go get milk, and when I go get milk, I make yogurt from whatever's left over. Whoa, that's really close. From whatever is left over from the week before. I don't always do that, but that's what I do when I have my brain on. And I did that last week and it worked out really good because we made a bunch of smoothies. So I'm gonna get this into some pans and get it into the oven because everybody's hungry.
This is our breakfast. Biscuits, gravy, and scrambled eggs.
Okay, so it is almost 11 o'clock and we are about to sit down and eat breakfast. I have some taco soup in my crock pot, some rice in my rice cooker from yesterday at church that's left over. The taco soup was a freezer meal. I'm trying to do that freezer meal thing. It's kind of cool. And I'm throwing a butternut squash into, is that a butternut squash down in there? I think it's butternut squash, yeah. I'm throwing that in the oven for dinner tonight. I'm just gonna get it soft so I can cut it up. Okay, taco soup, butternut squash. We're having salmon for dinner. It's defrosting in the fridge. And we made a biscuit, gravy, sausage, egg, and cheese casserole. And we took some smoothies out of the freezer. So we're working on softening up. That's my messy. Is that a good smoothie? It's all over you. Okay, so that's the basics of our food that we're eating today. And I actually made 2 of those casseroles out of that big bag of frozen mushed up biscuits that was pretty much ruined. So I'm kind of excited about that. Hopefully it'll taste good. Sometimes my concoctions of convenience do not taste very good. But my family eats them. I'm thankful for that. Anyway, so we have our basic meals done. We got an extra casserole out of that biscuit thing that I will stick in the fridge for the day after Christmas. And we're gonna eat some breakfast and hopefully get some things accomplished today. All right, so now we're gonna start making pie. The first pie is called a chocolate truffle pie. Should be easy. All right, we're making scalloped potatoes for tomorrow. We're gonna have prime rib and scalloped potatoes. Check this mess out. This is a messy effort. Kids are frosting some sugar cookies and eating sugar cookies over there. So I sliced up some potatoes to make scalloped potatoes, and then over here I'm making the sauce, and it's basically sauteed onions and butter with garlic, and then you add in some flour and some chicken broth. I use turkey broth and some milk, salt and pepper, and then you layer it with the potatoes with cheese, and then you top it, you bake it, and then you top it with fresh thyme. We'll see how it turns out. All right, moving on now. So we just finished up our scalloped potatoes, and the kids finished up making sugar cookies. There's our sugar cookies, and there's our scalloped potatoes. And now we are moving on to buttermilk pie. Buttermilk pie is super easy. Sugar, flour, buttermilk, vanilla, butter, and eggs. And if you're a cheater like me, a frozen pie crust. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna make 3 of those.
Okay, so we're gonna make cinnamon rolls. The first thing that we do when we make the 90-minute cinnamon rolls is we take our milk, which is 3/4 cup of milk. I doubled this recipe, but the original recipe is 3/4 cup of milk, and then you're going to take a 1/4 cup of softened butter, and you're supposed to heat it up until the butter melts, and then you let it cool down until it's just kind of lukewarm. Set it aside, and then you're going to take 2 1/4 cup of flour. The entire recipe calls for 3 1/4 cup, but 2 1/4 cup of flour into your bowl, your mixing bowl first. And once again, I doubled this, so I'm kind of eyeballing it. Then you're going to mix in your yeast. The original recipe calls for 1 package of yeast. I'm doubling it, so I'm putting in 2. And then you're going to put in your salt. And let's double check that. Salt is 1/2 teaspoon. Sure. 1/2 teaspoon. And then you're also going to dump in a 1/4 cup of sugar. 1/4 cup sugar. Ta-da! Then we're gonna mix in our liquid mixture. And so once you heat the milk and you melt the butter into it, then you're gonna add in your water, and it calls for a 1/4 cup of water and 1 egg. And so I just throw that all into the liquid stuff together. And then you just dump it in. This is not the appropriate liquid measuring cup, but it works. And you start to mix it. Then once it comes together, you're going to mix in the rest of the flour 1/2 cup at a time. And when it pulls together, you turn it out and you knead it till smooth, about 5 minutes. Then you're going to cover it with a damp cloth and let it rise for about 10 minutes. Okay, Joey, you can stop it right now.
Okay, so we're gonna make the filling for the inside of the cinnamon rolls now. It is a cup of brown sugar, and then we're gonna cut in 1/2 cup of butter. You can mix this in. You want it to be kind of room temperature, so it's a little easier to mix. I just cut it into chunks, and I'm doing a double recipe, so this is all double. I cut it into chunks, and then I use a pastry blender, and that just seems to kind of go a little faster for me. Okay, so new bowl. This is gonna go a lot better. So I just mix it in like this. You could totally use your electric mixer, but my electric mixer still has the dough in it. So I mix it all together like this, and then you can add in, it's a tablespoon of cinnamon. Add that in. For me, that was 2. And then you just set that aside till you're ready to use it. I try to get it a little bit more well combined than that. So now the dough has come together in the mixer, and I pulled it out onto my countertop. I floured the countertop, and I was gonna show you how I knead it. So I just take an edge, fold it over, and spin it. So I fold it over, press down, and then I kind of spin it like that. And if it starts to get a little sticky, hello, then you just kind of do that. And it says to knead it for about 5 minutes. I have my dough hook in my mixer, so it probably doesn't really need 5 whole minutes more. So I'm just gonna kind of do this until it's all mushed together. And then just let it sit covered with a damp rag for about 10 minutes. And then you can roll it out and cut it. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna roll out the dough, and then I'm gonna show you how I cut it. That's kind of a fun trick, and it makes it a lot easier to get your slices not totally mutilated. So we're gonna roll it out and then
put the filling in it, roll it up, and slice it. Like, do I have to talk the whole time, or can I just do it? I don't have anything else to say, so now you can just watch me do it. Yes, how are you doing? I'm video taping Mama. Please don't spit cookie on me. Or on my cinnamon rolls. Or on the cinnamon rolls. Alright, that look good? Maybe a little bit more. Then we take our goo, our cinnamon goo. That is actually what it says on my recipe card, to spread the goo. I also buttered a huge pan.
okay, so now we're gonna roll it up. Yeah?
Can I have this?
No, you've had enough.
Mama, can I have some?
What? Do you want one of these?
Mommy's
So-
making a cinnamon roll.
Roll it up, roll it up, roll it up, roll it up. Is that silly? No, not really. Then I kind of wow, I just like got it all over me. Then I bring it back and I actually kind of squeeze it and try to even it out a little bit because it's really thick in some areas. Squeeze along the whole thing and kind of bunch up the ends. And then you take a piece of dental floss. And you go all the way down to what looks like the middle and just kind of loop it over itself. And then I cut it into like, maybe I'll do like thirds.
Try to tie it.
So a third there. Maybe that's thirds, sort of, kind of. Shall I say this? Then I go back and cut it again into thirds. Did you mess up my timer?
Yeah, I just added a minute.
Oh, that's okay. And it doesn't have to be even. And then I just throw them in the pan. Those are big. Those are gonna be big ones. You could do little ones if you wanted.
Oh.
Maybe I'll do these into fourths. 1, 2.
Oh, there's a twinkle in the
3,
star.
4.
That one.
Huh?
You can have the twinkle
I
in
can have it.
You can have the twinkle little star.
You can have that.
Oh, I've had enough.
Okay.
I've had enough.
Daddy's eyeing the
Oh, where
cinnamon
can
rolls.
my mom do that? Oh, Mom, that's already opened.
Already opened?
Already opened.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's closed, huh? Is it closed?
Yeah.
Good.
Mom Aspen's licking the frosting.
Oh, don't lick the frosting off those cookies. Those are not for you. Dad, you want to move the temptation out of the way?
Mama, can I have...
And that's all there is to it. You just slice them all up, put them in the pan, and then you're going
See
to
the twinkle little star? Look at it.
let them rise until they double in size, about 30 minutes, and then bake them. It says for 20 minutes. I think it's at 350. Let me double check. Oh, I'm sorry, 375. Okay, it's the end of the day. We got everything done. We had a really leisurely night and spent time with friends and ate leftovers because we cooked so much today. So we got the kitchen cleaned up and everybody's in bed and we're just getting the last few bits and pieces of things put away, and we're gonna have a blessed day tomorrow. So that is a day in the life of getting ready for Christmas Day food with a whole bunch of kids in tow. And we had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to not have to cook tomorrow because we did all our work today. So hope you enjoyed the ride. Have a great day. Merry Christmas.